Yo, these dudes are killing it. This phone's crazy. Nah, I'll be back. I gotta go sell my Samsung. I'll be back.
Can't die, shouldn't cry, but I love it. Start why?
What is the deal, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon, Lifestyles Defined. Let's talk about the Razer Phone. My God. So many, shout out to you guys. So many people hit me in the inbox. Yo, did you see that Razer Phone? Did you see that Razer Phone? And I was like, no. So I had to go look. I was actually at work, so I couldn't miss it therefore after. It was everywhere. So shout out to Razer on this. I really like what I was seeing here. I guess if we step back a bit, Razer bought Nextbit, I think was the name of the company. And Nextbit had a phone called the Robin. I mean, I didn't think anything of it. What I liked about the Robin was it had these great aspirations of a phone that sort of didn't need local storage. Everything was up in the cloud. So the phone had this intelligent play where based on your usage, it would say, okay, he's not using this picture, that document anymore, upload it to the cloud, get it off the phone. But it'd also be like some mid-step technology that made it a lot quicker to come back. But whatever the case is, it was a small startup. I think it was started by one of the lead designers over at HTC or something like that, whatever. Razer bought these guys. I sort of scoffed at the news a few months back because, I mean, what the hell is Razer gonna do? Razer is known for their PCs, more so their laptops. They're known for their laptops and their gaming laptops. So I was like, what the hell are they doing buying a smartphone company? Like, I don't know how this will turn out, but here we are. That thought is coming back to haunt me. My God, I love what I'm seeing. So Razer pretty much, it looks like they sort of took whatever Nextbit, whatever. They took that form factor because it had a very industrial look, very sharp edges. I thought it was attractive, and they just blew it up. It's just a bigger version of that, and I love the way this phone looks. Not because I'm some super designer in the corner and I love sharp edges. It just looks like itself. Like there's nothing else on the market that looks like this right now. And I dig that. I really think that's dope. So what Razer's doing here is Razer is playing to their strength. What are they known for? Gaming laptops and some gaming PCs, I suppose. Are they known for gaming PCs? I gotta look that up. I don't know. Laptop. They got consoles too. While I'm actually on the website. Yeah, but whatever. They're known for gaming laptops and they're known for gaming, and that's what they do. And if you've ever gone into a Best Buy and see a Razer, you know these things are very elegant. They're very nicely put together. They're very attractive. They're very gamer-esque. And there are no slouch in the performance. Like, they almost don't put out products that don't make sense. So they're taking a lot of that focus and they're just delivering it in a package that I don't think we've seen for a while. There's been some gaming phones here and there, but I really dig this angle. So they're saying this is a gaming phone for gamers, and I kind of struggle what the hell that is, but the more you look at this phone, the more you get it. It's about raw specs. And something that really jumps out to me is, when I was looking for a video editing rig, there were so many different choices. And one of the things that I always admired about a video editing rig, and even if someone comes to me and says, hey, I'm looking to buy a laptop, 50% of the time I'll recommend a gaming laptop if they can stomach the girth, the weight, the look of it. Because when this thing is no longer a viable gaming machine, because it was so far spec'd and it had so much in it, it's still way more adequate for a regular day-to-day machine. And I feel like that concept sort of transitions here in this phone, where this phone is spec to the gills. And yes, it's for the gamers and it's for gaming, but as a regular person, if you were to go buy this phone, which is not crazy priced, by the way, we'll talk about that, you actually benefit. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. So what do we have here is, first we start with the design. Like I said, I just love the way this thing look. It's a big piece of block, big piece of metal, and it looks attractive. I mean, the bezels, okay, so the bezels, I really don't know how to feel about, but when I found out that those bezels were actually front firing speakers, okay, bring the bezels, son. I like the bezels. There's on the right side, there's something ingenious that I always loved on phones, and I sort of look at Apple like, why couldn't you guys do this? And you know, I think Sony's the first person I seen this with. The power button doubles as a fingerprint reader. Love that. The 2 volume buttons on the other side, okay, you know, they might be too close to the middle, but whatever. There's symmetry in the design. I like that. On the back, it's got dual cameras. So the overall design with that 5.7 inch display on the front, the overall design, I think it's dope because it is a super clean design. It is very, very much in line and uniform with what they offer in the other realm, and we're talking gaming laptops. And I like this uniformity, right? I feel like if you look at an iPhone, iPad, iMac, MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, you see the similarities in the design cues. You look at a Surface Book, Surface Pro, what the hell is the tablet one called? The big. You look at that, you see the similarities. So I like that. This is part of the decision that makes me feel like Razer is serious here. Make this thing look like everything else that we sell. So our loyal consumer can walk in the store and be like, and I'll take that Razer Phone too, and go home and feel right at home. So yeah, there's that. Coming down to the specs, my God, this thing, it's a 5.7 inch Quad HD display. And here's the kicker. This is what's kind of breaking the internet right now. It runs at 120 hertz. So my first run-in with 120 hertz on a mobile device is actually on my iPad Pro. And that's not something I can explain to you. There is a fluidity, there's a smoothness in the end, the animations at 120 that you just can't explain. And again, to the pedigree of Razer, these guys, when you're talking gaming, and if any of you guys subscribe to our gaming channel, Ignorant Gamers, link in the description below, you would know that we talk a lot about the hertz and the frames per second. It's not about the resolution. It's about that buttery smooth 120 and the fluidity that it can deliver. And I feel like a lot of gamers know this. Maybe not console gamers, but a lot of PC gamers get this. This is why PC monitors are so expensive, and they do 120 and 240 and all this crazy shit. Whatever. I like what happens here because from what I know on the iPad only does the 120 in the UI. So it doesn't do it in apps and all of that. And it's kind of jarring, actually. Like when you see it, like, whoa. That was trippy. That was smooth, swiping from left to right on the home screen. And then you launch Facebook and it's back to the regular kinetic scrolling. You're like, okay, whatever. Here, these guys are doing it in everything. That's super dope. There's a lot to be said for that. There's a lot to be said for these guys taking that performance to the next level. Then it's got the Snapdragon 835. Okay, so we've seen the Snapdragon 835 on every phone this year. What makes Razer, what sets them apart from the rest is they've taken a lot of their attention to thermal, meaning the way they cool the processor and the heat sinks, and applied it to this phone. This is something real. I forgot, I don't know what phone it was, but I definitely read that there was a lot of throttling on one of these flagship phones when the phone sort of starts cranking away because it gets hot. And the way the phone protects itself, the way the processor protects itself, is it scales back on the processing that it's doing. So it's not actually operating at full power. And if it is, it's not doing it for long. What Razer's done here is they've added some thermal in a way where it can dissipate that heat, keep the chip cool, and keep the chip always running. Now that's how you do gaming. And again, I want to reiterate, I may not play gaming. I may not be a mobile gamer. I don't even know. I don't care about any of that stuff. But it would be nice to, just have 4K video just completely running, and I don't have to worry about my phone doing weird stuff. It would be nice to be running Lightroom Mobile on this phone and not have to worry about it doing weird stuff and heating up. So that's super dope. 8 gigs of RAM. What? There are PCs that are sold today that don't have 8 gigs of RAM. And let me say something. You know, the Note 8, you guys know I love to attack the Note. I love to attack the Note 8. It had 6 where the S8 Plus had 4. And my point all along was we were used to in a world where the Note would double whatever everyone else had. And the Note didn't do that. It had 6. Okay, 6 gigs of RAM, good. That's fine. Congratulations, Samsung. You the big man on the block. Here comes these guys like, no, 6 not enough, baby. Give them 8. Round of applause for Razer. It's got a 64 gigabyte internal storage, expandable, of course. It's got this wild 4,000 milliamp battery. And you know, if you're going to be pushing that display, or the ultra motions, what they call that 120 hertz, if you're going to be doing that, and your processor is going to be constantly cranking at the strongest and highest power it's got, you're going to chew through some battery. So it's good to see them give it a nice size battery, which also goes back to the design of this thing. They could have tried to make it as slim as a Note, and they said no. Why? No, form over function. Get that function over form. Make it big enough where you can get all the battery life you want, and then we'll watch them tear us apart about a headphone jack later. we're gonna get there. So in terms of specs out the way, in terms of features, it's got, like I said, it's got the power button doubles as the fingerprint reader. I think that's dope. None of this half stepping that Samsung did where you can't reach goddamn fingerprint reader in the back. Each speaker, these speakers are super dope. I haven't heard them in person. Everyone else who has is raving about them. From a technical aspect, I think they're dope. Each speaker has its own amp. Wow. And on top of that, it's a 24... No, they're tuned by Atomos, Dolby and Atomos, so that's its own thing. That's a real thing. And then it's the phone's got a 24-bit DAC, which is also great attention to detail. And that's something that we see LG gives a lot of fan service on when it comes to that DAC. And Razer is promising 2 years of software update guaranteed. So I feel like not only is this a well-designed phone, not only is this a well-spec'd phone, I feel like this is a well-thought-out phone. All the bases are covered here. The camera is a dual camera. A dual camera array on the back, 12 megapixels, and they're doing the same thing that I detest: is people using 2 cameras to get that computational photography, whatever it's there. I've heard some rumors. We don't know what it is yet. Some people are worried about the camera. From what I've read so far, it seems to be an older sensor from something like the Galaxy S6 Edge, and back then, which I don't think is a big deal. Those cameras are still pretty good. In terms of the negatives, there's no headphone jack. And because there's no headphone jack, it comes with the USB Type-C adapter. Okay, cool. But for a phone like this, where you're gonna be using it, you're gonna be running it dead, you're gonna be gaming on it, I would think they would have thought about you being able to use your headphones and charge the phone at the same time. This is a very real issue. And there are some adapters out there that allow you to do both. Now, this is an instance where I would say I can excuse the no headphone jack because this phone is just so balls to the wall. I don't like to, but I can. Chances are, you as a gamer, you probably got some Bluetooth headphones anyway. So maybe they did think about it and they picked their battles. I don't know. There's no waterproofing. I get it. Gamers aren't at the beach. so okay. But, as I said in that Pixel video I was talking about, I've got some very real expectations from my flagships these days. And one of them is waterproofing. I just can't live without it at this point. But to be quite honest with you, this might be my next phone. I love everything about it. I love that it's so thick, which means I don't know if you ever own like the Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. I owned that phone for a little bit. That was Samsung's first foray into the double edge design, and it was super sexy, super thin. That phone was difficult to use because you had to sort of get used to not holding a phone like this, but holding a phone literally on the edge so you won't touch the screen. And since Samsung's refined that design, and I can hold this much more comfortably and get the job done. This is the S6. This is the S8. S8 Plus, right? But why even go through that? If you're saying this phone's about gaming, then make it. Give us something chunky to hold, something beefy to hold, and that's what they did. And not only did they do that, they gave us 2 big ass speakers on the side. Like, my God, everything about this phone is just a round of applause. This might very well be my next phone. And if you guys have not seen the video where I pretty much said I took the Pixel 2 XL off my list of recommended phones for this year, as of now, because Google could, according to them, they can fix a lot of the issues, whatever. Check that video out. I want to give you some context. When I said in that video that it is inexcusable and Google does not get a pass for having all of these little issues when there's competition